Welcome back, Filmaholics. My name is Scott Kendrick, and in this channel I find anything and everything filmmaking. So, you guys are trying to up your B-roll product game, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that using light. Basically, how to light your products. Now, this is also part of a bigger playlist where I show you guys how to light your YouTube videos, and it's called How to Light Your YouTube Videos. And if you guys want to check out more lighting techniques, check out the cards up here for that, and let's go ahead and get started. Also, consider subscribing. So let's get started on the steps. And step number one will be backdrop. This one is simple and obvious. So you just have to ask yourself, do you want an overhead setup or do you want a more forward-facing setup? But for this video, I'm going to be doing a forward-facing setup. And step number two, that's going to be key light. And what this means is the main light. And it's meant to light up 80 to 90% of the whole product and somewhat the backdrop if you're doing an overhead setup. And the best way to do this is to raise it above the product and then point it down. And by that, I mean just like eyeball a 45-degree angle, point it straight down at the product itself. And step number three, man, we are breezing through these steps, but I mean, it's pretty simple once you get used to it, so there you go. But step number three will be fill light. And there's gonna be a couple options for this. First one is using a reflector, like a poster board. You can even use a binder, I've seen that, or just a regular reflector, whatever you need to reflect the key light itself. But you could also use a soft dimmer light than the one that you're using for the main light. After deciding the method to use to either bounce or reflect or fill, hence fill light, you want to decide positioning. So there's going to be two methods to this as well. The first one's going to be low and pointed down, and the other one's going to be low and pointed up. So the reason for this is because if you want it low and pointed down, you want it to reflect from the bottom and kind of fill in the space from the bottom up. And same if you want it really low and pointed up, that's gonna do the same, and that means you don't have a bright enough light to bounce. So it's really what lights you're using at the time. And finally, step number four, the last step, and that's gonna be background. I know we did backdrop, but now we're doing background. And by this I mean what to do when you light it up. And there's gonna be a couple options to this as well. So the first one's gonna be either if you wanna use paper, or if you wanna use just a dark environment, or maybe a well-lit environment. That's gonna be changing several different factors. So the reason for this is because if you're doing a paper backdrop or one of those white backdrops in general, most of the time it's gonna be the same exact thing. Just have a wide light pointed directly at it, right behind where the product would be on the shot, so that it's just really well lit. And to do the dark environment, you're gonna wanna point all the lights kind of towards the camera, but not directly at the camera. It's like a more, again, 45-degree angle. That's like the magic number to almost all things. But you want it pointed away from the background as far as possible, but also enough to light your product perfectly. You gotta find the middle ground. So there is a last and final, technically, other step, and that's step number 5, film, and that just means to film. But yeah, if you guys want another video for that, I'm gonna be making one, so if you guys want to check that out, go ahead and check the cards again up here, and that will teach you guys how to shoot products. So Kyle's conclusions, that's gonna be very simple. So first thing is gonna be pick a backdrop, key light, make that main light, and then fill light, fill in the shadows, and backlight, which is gonna be either if you want to have a well-lit background or a darker environment background, and then lastly, film. It's as simple as that. The more you get used to this process, the more you'll have a better product video or product shoot or whatever you're gonna be using this for. I do have one last thing to say, and the reason why this is somewhat a vague video is because you want to fill in your style. If you're doing an ad, they're not really just advertising their video or their product or whatever that is, but they're also trying to advertise your style because they picked you. They want your style. So don't forget to always add your styles. If you like an RGB type of video, or if you like a really plain and kind of paperback video, whatever it is, choose that and just stick with your style, because that is what you're advertising to other people as well. Also, if you guys want to check out the gear I use to either product light or maybe just my YouTube studio in general, go ahead and check the descriptions down below. And also, there are gonna be no extra cost to you guys if you guys do end up purchasing. It's just gonna end up helping the channel out. And also, this is again part of a bigger playlist, so if you want more lighting techniques, go ahead and check the playlist up here. And lastly, don't forget to like and subscribe and dream on.